I was performing an act of betrayal like Scar from The Lion King. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing another tag video which I tagged myself in as usual. That is my top all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. Now this isn't a specific number of eyeshadow palettes. Aren't from a certain year. Some are like from
way back when.
Jaclyn, Hill, and Morphe palette. Now this thing has been used and abused to the extreme. Like, do you see how dirty this is?
Kind of like my life and the haters trying to hate on me.
It's my favorite palette of all 2017. It's just, it has the
perfect colors in here. It has about every color you can use. They're just so pigmented, so buttery, so blendable.
Minimal fallout. The metallics feel like wet. This is just such an amazing everyday all occasion palette. I used this for like a month straight, and when I stopped using it, I felt kind of, you know, I was performing an act of betrayal like Scar from The Lion King. The mattes are super duper pigmented. The shimmer, the metallics are super pigmented. They blend beautifully. They're buttery. They're smooth. These are the best Morphe eyeshadow I've ever encountered, and that's because she did try to make that her goal. But it's just, there's endless possibilities with this palette. You could do a colorful look, you can do a fall look, and subtle look, and everyday look, and glamorous look. You can just do so much with this palette. This is literally the only palette I'll bring when I'm traveling. It's just because you have every single color that you could possibly need, and they're the most perfect colors too. Like, this is the most
perfect gold I envision, most perfect kind of warm toned shimmer, bronze shimmer, most perfect cranberry shimmer.
It's just amazing, except I don't really like the shades Jada, or I believe that shade's called Royalty. It's really hard to blend. Jada's kind of packed Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Talked about so much before, perfect reason. One, this is like one of the most perfect fall palettes. The colors are just so rich, so pigmented, so buttery.
So pigmented.
It's perfect. Everything blends like a dream. A miss with this palette whatsoever. This palette is just so good, and to be honest, I don't think Anastasia can ever go up to par with this palette. I think this is the best palette they've ever created. Definitely not trying the Subculture palette unless you guys want to, but there's just too many negative things I hear about the Subculture palette, and Prism palette I've heard is good. I might do that video, but it's just, it's perfect. And if you want to know why it's called Modern Renaissance, because I hear a lot of questions about this, is because, and I was an art student back in my college, so I can tell you this for sure.
But a lot of these colors are the colors of paint that painters used back in the Renaissance days or the Renaissance period. Just a lot of colors that they used in their paintings in the Renaissance as well. Like burnt orange, raw sienna, definitely a color that's used still to this day. Red ochre, Venetian red, Realgar, Cypress umber.
Called Modern Renaissance, probably because they also put their own spin into it as well. These are so pigmented, it's freaking crazy, and the colors are just beautiful together. Like, I haven't seen one bad combination, and the reds in this palette are just,
they're everything.
They're the perfect, like, maroon fall red. I don't like about these packagings in particular is they get really dirty easily.
Kind of like me. In my lab.
No, I'm kidding. Really dirty very easily. Morphe 35O. Now, you bet your little tush I'm gonna get the 35O too. The original, I'm not kidding you.
I use this for for a year straight.
This is just also a really great fall palette as well. I really like the warm tones, fall tones, if you can tell. They're so blendable. They've improved the formula of the new one, so I can't imagine how
amazing
that one's gonna be. But it's just, I've used and abused it for like many reasons that you'll hear other people say. The only thing about this is some of the matte shades are a little inconsistent with the other shades in the palette, but I mainly use the
oranges, this peachy shimmer I've used, the golds in here, the warm browns, and this brown right here.
They required a lot more buildup, and they require, you know, some more time to blend. But just the colors in here are just perfect, and like, I use this.
I use this for a whole year.
This palette we have is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Androgyny palette. Love this palette so much. Yes, it has a broken mirror. I don't believe that superstition that you look that weird, you look for 7 years.
I've had that luck my whole life. What's the difference?
These are just so super pigmented and so blendable. I don't really use Poison or Swallow because I'm not really into those tones personally for my skin tone, but I have used all the other ones, and let me just tell you, these are perfect. Now, Androgyny is like a little hard to blend, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a beautiful, beautiful color. Fetish is my absolute favorite color. That is, it's like the perfect maroon shade. This is definitely more on the fall tone side. I really love it. I don't reach for it as much as my other palettes, but it's just, it's definitely one of my favorites, if that makes sense. Whenever I use it and want extreme color payoff, that is when I'll use it. But it's just, it's amazing. And my Beauty Killer palette is not in here because personally, I don't really wear those types of colors anymore, really. I'll wear it sometimes, but I don't really wear it often. I wear more of these types of tones. My fetish is this palette. This palette is my fetish. My fetish is warm fall tones. They totally get me, you know, feeling some type of
way.
Masquerade palette by Juvia's Place. You guys, this is my favorite color neutral palette ever. The pigment on these palettes and just the colors of they have. Do you see that? Do you see that? And I was barely pressing on these shades. These shades are just the most perfect mermaid tones. I really like mermaid tones for colored eyeshadow. And just the mattes, the only thing with the mattes is they're a little less pigmented than the shimmers.
Because I keep saying it's so pigmented so much, let's play a game and take a shot for every time I say so pigmented. Okay? Sound good? Okay.
Require a little bit of buildup, which isn't a problem. It's not like they have no pigment at all. I like when a matte is personally a little easier to build up just because, you know, you don't dip your brush in it and it's like a mess to blend, and then it ends up to your brow bone and you look like Mimi from, yeah,
don't end up like her.
Juvia's Place has definitely turned out to be one of my favorite formulas of shadows. They're just pigmented, buttery, easy to blend, easily buildable, minimal fallout. Address the issue of fallout. A lot of people take a palette as fallout is bad. Actually, from the pigmented shadow, you're going to get some fallout. That's just what it is. That would just happen. That's what comes with a pigmented shadow. It's going to have some fallout just because they're so pigmented. Now, there is a thing that's too pigmented, like the Subculture palette, which I've seen is just drops down on your eye and is like really hard to blend because it's just so powdery and flies everywhere. No, that's not okay. But just when something comes very pigmented, here I'll show you. Let's say we're going to use our blending brush. We're going to take that purple. See, as I'm packing it, you see that fallout? Let me try a flatter brush for you guys. See how it's going have a little bit fall out each way. That's why if you're gonna do your face first, put some baking powder underneath your eye or tap off your brush. But that comes with a pigmented shadow either way. You're gonna have fallout no matter what. So just keep that in mind for fallout. I see all the people like, oh my god, fallout. Are a combination of 3 palettes, but they are Naked 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. These things have been my babies since high school. Now, are these the same palette? No, because I used mine too much to the point I need.
This palette sucks. Light flash before its eyes.
Ones because I used mine so much. I literally used Naked 1, Naked 2, and Naked 3 all the freaking time. Like in high school, I used it like literally every day. Things just provide some nostalgia, and plus they're just classics. You have your classic Naked, which is warm and shimmery and smoky. And I do think they made better decisions as they went along, because this is very, very shimmery. Like there's no mattes here. You're pretty much a disco ball.
No, no, no.
A disco queen with this. But I like shimmer personally. Now, I used to be a little amateur when I used to do my makeup with this, and I used to put shimmers in the crease. That's not a good idea anymore because that doesn't really provide dimension to your eye. The dimension's kind of lost after a while, but this was a classic palette, and it still is a classic palette to me. Naked 2, which is a little more
beat up.
Better, they have 3 mattes, and I'm glad they put a matte black versus a shimmery black.
I don't really like that.
Classic. I love the shades Chopper, and I love Suspect, Pistol, Verve, YDK. Those are like my favorite shades ever in this palette. And then the Naked 3. This was probably my favorite out of all the Naked palettes personally. I just love all the shades in here, especially Trick. That's
beautiful.
Classic, they're nostalgic, they're pigmented, they have really nice colors. You don't really have to bring an extra palette if you don't want.
That was my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, like, subscribe, you know, comment what I can do better and what you guys would like to see. Anyways, as always, stay beautiful and stay you. Bye, guys!